guys, it's Gamer Ahmer here. So tonight we're going to go ahead and continue with 13 Nights of Halloween. So this is the last night. It's officially Halloween. I couldn't think of any better game to play than these two right here. So first we have the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and then we have Halloween for the Atari 2600. Now both of these games right here are actually in a double-ended Atari 2600 repro case. So these two games are not the originals, but it still plays as the original. Now if you've seen my other video where I talk about my Atari 2600 Wizard Video Games promo jacket and this game right here, you'll understand why these two games are very difficult to find. So let's go ahead and check them out. Alright, so here we have the Texas Chainsaw Massacre for the Atari 2600. Now in this game, you are actually Leatherface right here, equipped with the chainsaw. And you actually score points by killing children who trespass onto your property. So, as you can tell, this game right here is actually pretty violent, especially for its time period. So, if you haven't realized, this game probably wouldn't have done very well back in the day. And the reason why is because parents aren't going to buy this game for their children. And a lot of stores actually refuse to sell this game right here, or they put it behind the counter, so it wasn't out on the floor for people to see, or the general public to see when they came into their store. So this game is pretty rare to find. So you have to avoid all these obstacles in the yard. And you collect 1,000 points for every child that you kill. So this is actually a really violent video game. And even though the graphics aren't the best here, it looks like when the child is actually getting chainsawed, it kind of looks like there's blood behind it, so that's pretty crazy. And if you notice at the top here, there is actually the fuel gauge. So as you move along, you actually run out of fuel when you use your chainsaw more. And of course, when you run out of lives right there with the fuel gauge, it looks like the child kind of boots you aside. So that looks like it was a game over. Let's see if we can play it another time. So the controls are pretty simple here. All you have is that Atari joystick. And you have this little button. So the button here actually works the chainsaw. And it gets a little bit difficult just because you have to navigate your way through here. And you have to try not to run out of this gas right here. Alright, so we're down to 1 life here. Let's see if we can get at least another 1,000 more. Alright, so it looks like we beat the high score already. And there's another game over. So let's go ahead and play some Halloween. I'm really looking forward to playing this game since it is Halloween, so let's give it a go. Alright, so here we move on to Halloween. Alright, so we have to save these children right here. And every time that you bring them all the way across the screen, you get points. And of course, every time that he enters a room, that music starts playing. Now, that music's actually really cool. Especially for an Atari 2600 game, that music's pretty neat. So we definitely want to try and avoid him. Alright, so we got some points for that. Definitely a pretty creepy looking character even in this game. So you see him wielding a knife right there. looks like we lost a life right there. I was going to try and pass him. But it looks like you can't really do that. So we have to figure out how to get down there to save that kid. Of course, I just walked right into him. Alright, so we just went right around him. Alright, so we got some more points there. And we gotta save this kid. That was a close one. Alright, so let's go ahead and play this one again. See if we can pass him right here. Alright, so we have to get down there and save that kid. Alright, so we made it all the way there. It's definitely pretty intense. I couldn't imagine playing this back in the 80s. Especially after watching some of the old films. At least this one, you're actually not him, and you're a babysitter, and you actually have to rescue the kids. So that doesn't seem too bad. Oh. Looks like we lost the kid there. like he killed the kid, so that's pretty creepy right there. So now you just see the kid laying there in the corner. Oh, and we got hit there. See if we can pick up this. Alright. So these last two games were actually pretty cool. It's always fun to see exactly where some of these video games started and how far they've advanced today. So playing Halloween and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre on the original Atari 2600 was pretty fun. I'm glad that I waited until the end to play these two games. These are definitely games I'm going to pick up in the future and go ahead and keep playing. They're always different each time. Now the graphics may not look the best compared to modern day games, but this is where it all started. Definitely has that horror feel. And for Halloween, the music in the background is pretty awesome when you have Michael Myers chasing you. And the Texas Chainsaw Massacre was a pretty violent video game for back in the day. Now I completely understand why these two games were pulled from shelves in a lot of stores, why they were held behind the counters, and why they didn't produce very many of these games. Now, I would love to add both of these games in my collection as original copies. Right now I just have that repro, but I'm stoked that I have that vintage Wizard Video Games promo jacket in my collection. It's definitely from the 80s, definitely great to collect if you're a horror fan. I'm really stoked that I found that jacket, and now I need to find both of these two games complete so I can add them in my collection and just have those authentic games from the 80s. So overall, I really enjoyed 13 Nights of Halloween. I had a lot of fun with the games that I picked across a variety of different systems. And a lot of these games I played for the first time, so I'm really glad that I was able to have this event and play some of these games in my collection that I might not have played for a while. So thank you guys for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe. Go ahead and check out my other videos and let me know which game was your favorite.